What don't I like about beer? That'd be a lot easier question. When my glass is empty, I don't like that.
Seattle, Portland, kind of knock it out of the park.
San Diego would puff their chest out and say, you know, no, it's us.
But Boise's no slouch either.
Majority of these breweries have stepped it up.
I mean, we're the hidden gem. Don't tell anybody, but the gem state's got it going on.
I always say it's not just a job, it's a lifestyle.
Boise takes a lot of pride in things being local. The water's great up here in the Pacific Northwest.
It's where the hops are grown. Not all hops, but the best hops.
Doesn't get more local than your backyard.
When we opened up 10 Barrel here, that there's I think 4 breweries, and yeah, now there's 21. We're the best in the world! I think Boise's just a huge fit to be the next big beer town. Good beer, good city, good people. Let's drink some beer.
Connect to one HDMI input.
I'm not sure if it's the right one. We are watching the World Beer Cup ceremonies that are going down in Nashville, Tennessee. All the judging went down this week. This is just the awards.
The bronze award goes to Disorder.
Mathematically, it's pretty slim. I like 3% or 4% chance of winning a medal at all. Sitting there waiting, watching all of the medals come down. I mean, personally, I'm sweating my butt off for like 2 hours. Like, it's nerve-wracking for me, and I know it's nerve-wracking for the other guys.
And the gold award.
Come on now, come on. So here's a quick breakdown of the brew process. It all starts with a recipe. That's where the grains are selected and then ran through a mill. From there, the milled grain is mixed with hot water to create our mash, which produces sweet wort. That sweet wort is then transferred into a kettle where it's boiled. We will add hops to that sweet wort during the boil process, and then from there, we're gonna take it through a heat exchanger into one of our fermenters where it's gonna ferment out for a couple weeks after it's mixed with yeast. From there, we're gonna move it into the bright tank where it's ready for cans, bottles, or kegs. It's a mix between art and science. I mean, there's a lot of science involved, and you can get really technical, detailed into the weeds and the science aspect of every little bit. And then, you mix it with the art, the inspiration, the creativity part.
I love brewing because it's in my head, it's on my hands, it's in my mouth. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean.
When you go learn how to make beer and you go to Germany and you go to Austria or wherever you go and learn the old school ways of doing things, that's great. And they've been doing that for hundreds of years.
And everything was developed regionally, so one region would have a particular flavor of beer. Where in America, they just brew everything. All the different beers that have American in it, there's all American versions. So they're usually bigger, more robust, more hops, more malt, more alcohol. America, it seems to do things bigger.
As a result of that, there's some awesome beers getting pumped out.
I love everything about beer. You get to use all your senses, touch, sight, feel, hear. I can hear the beer fermenting in the background. When you're filling a keg, the hiss of the CO2. Just all those elements. It's like you're there, you're immersed in what you're doing, what you're brewing. Ooh, I like that chills, that's weird. Today we are heading out to the Gooding Farms, which is over 100-year-old hop farm here in Idaho, and it is ran by 2 gals that are 6th-generation hop farmers. The ingredients are here, and we're able to walk out our door, hop in a truck in a short trip to meet the farmer or see the field our ingredients are grown in. The yellow in there's the lupulin, these yellow glands. Whew, super fruity. I think for a brewer to have the passion for his craft, you need to have an intimate relationship with the people that grow the ingredients that you're using every day. These are Idaho gems, hops. That's straight up. I use Amarillo and Cascade in that, but Maybe we could substitute Amarillo for Gem. In the Northwest, you know, it's where the hops are grown. Not all hops, but the best hops. A lot like beer drinkers want to know who makes their beer. I think brewers are the same way. They want that intimate relationship with the people that are, you know, growing their ingredients. These are Amarillo. It's highly sought after. What I really like about the fresh hops is the interaction with the farmers. You get to pick them fresh, you know, right off the conveyors, right fresh out of the field. The thing about fresh hops is there's a 40-day window for harvest time. We get to go out during this time, meet up with the farmers, collect our hops. That's super cool. I mean, yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. We have enough room, right?
Stick in my lap if we need it.
Hop truck. Now to make beer. You only get to brew with fresh hops once a year. What I really like about the fresh hops is the different nuances of the flavors. You get some nice fruitiness, citrus, a little more spice, but just a real unique flavor because it is a wet hop. Super popular with customers and extremely popular with brewers.
As a teacher, I just love history and I love to learn kind of the process, and that's kind of one of the things that drew me into homebrewing in the first place, was wanting to learn more about the process and the history of it. I'm gonna call this one IDA, the Idaho Dark Ale instead of the Canadian Dark Ale. So it's all hops that grew in Boise and getting put together in kind of a dark porter body, so it's almost like a black IPA. So the grains are harvested right before they germinate, and you run them through the mill to release all the sugars. And so during the fermentation process, all the sugars that are released in it get consumed by the yeast, and that's what ultimately creates the alcohol content too, and a lot of the flavor profile. I probably brew 5 or 6 times a year, so every couple months. Usually just brewing a few batches will get me through a year. Makes a lot, so this will be a 5-gallon batch, so it'll last a while. It's a great day for making beer. I think the moment that I'm in with it is the most exciting at the time. So right now it's brew day, so I'm most excited about that. And all that dust coming off is from the milling. So those are the sugars that got released. So that's basically what we're gonna be steeping, all those fine sugars. Getting all that flavor out. Every little possible thing is a variable when you're brewing. The fine balance between chemistry and cooking. I love my wood setup, and it feels a little bit redneck, but sophisticated enough that I can make any beer that I want. There's a lot of pride with things being local. Doesn't get more local than your backyard. My hops that I have in the backyard, I planted them 4 years ago, and I think the first year they grew about 12 feet, and the last couple years they've been growing between 20 and 25 feet, and they just take off and they grow. Feels like a foot a day when they're growing in the spring. It's crazy. Aesthetically, they're really pretty. Get these big climbing, leafy structures, and so I built a couple terraces out there. I think that was kind of my sneaky husband way of convincing my wife to let me grow hops for brewing. Is I told her I'd make some pretty terraces that would make this cool walkway and shade the house a little bit, and she was all for it. My way to sneak another beer ingredient into the house in a way. Boise is one of the fastest growing areas in the country. To see our population growing and to see all the breweries popping up and growing with it, I think it's really exciting to see what's going to be next and which breweries haven't even opened yet and which brilliant ideas haven't been brewed yet.
I had graduated college a couple years earlier and was kind of looking for a trade. Working with my hands, I really enjoyed that. Brewing just kind of fit. Once I got in there, it was for me. I'd say my favorite part is the creative aspect. Coming up with a new recipe, formulating something completely new, and then seeing the end product. You know, having a beer in mind, having the characteristics in mind, and then putting it all together, and then seeing what comes out at the end. That's probably my favorite part. The Black Cliffs, our American stout. It's a really rich beer. It's got a lot of chocolate, dark chocolate flavoring, a lot of roast. It also has a good hop backbone to it.
So we're just gonna get a sample out of here now. Looks like it's got some body to it. It smells perfect, just like it's supposed to smell. It's got that good, nice chocolatey, roasty smell to it. We'll take a quick gravity and then we'll have a taste. Around 1020-ish or so, I think. That way it surely has some body left to it. Can be around there, maybe a little higher. We're still on secondary fermentation, so it'll drop a couple more points. I think that's gonna make it even better. Looking for it to taste like the final product. All that yeast is still gonna drop out, so it's gonna clean it up a little bit, making sure the bitterness level's right, making sure that the body's good and that chocolate roast flavor there, and all that's there, so I'm pretty happy with it. Now we're gonna throw some hops on there for the first dry hop. This is double dry hop, so we'll do it again in a few days. Make sure that aroma is pronounced. Next thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna set up a ladder, pull that cap off that 4-inch port, and then we're gonna dump in 10 pounds of hops. These are Centennials, and these are the Amarillos. You can definitely tell the difference for sure. We have our own Hopulator 2000 over here. It's super high tech. Even a little bit of bacteria can ruin an entire batch, so we have to sanitize everything. Freshly dry hops. You probably will not taste the dry hops. What do you get?
Very roasty right now.
Very roasty, yeah. That's what I got too. And it's hoppy. Tastes pretty damn good. It does. It's super chocolatey.
Got the roast, got the body, got the head forming already without even being carved. I don't know, it seems pretty good.
And the marriage of that chocolate malt and the roast and those earthy, dank hops really just, it pops. It just melds together and gives you a real mouthful of flavor. So that's gonna happen every once in a while. Gotta sparge. Because when you sparge, you're showering the grain to push more of those fermentable sugars out. We're kegging it off today. The one we're sending off to competition, we're kegging off today. That's what they're gonna start working on now. They just ran through all that porter, and now they're gonna start on the black cliffs. And then it's out of our hands. There are two main beer competitions that are sanctioned by the Brewers Association. One is the World Beer Cup, which is every 2 years, and everybody from the world is invited to compete in that competition. There's also Great American Beer Fest, which is held every year in Denver, Colorado, and all of the breweries in the United States are invited to participate in that.
Great American Beer Fest is pretty much the Super Bowl for craft brewers.
People are stoked to be there. It sells out usually in one day. The fest itself is pretty amazing. It's just huge, rows and rows and rows of all of the brewers around the country come in there to show off their stuff. It's a lot of fun for us.
Hi there.
You know, they hand you a cup, you're handing them beer,
There you go, my friend.
and they're happy and grateful with a big smile on their face. There's no money exchanging hands, there's no tickets or anything like that. They're just coming up and getting beer, and they're happy about it.
Boise. Yes, sir. Boise Brewing.
Being Boise Brewing, you get everybody's loose connection to Boise. You know, my cousin's brother drove through there 3 years ago, man. Yeah, I love Boise. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. It's kind of funny.
3 years we've poured beer down there, which is super fun to share your beer with all these people, all these beer lovers, and watching them walk away and then turn around and give you the, yeah. But the Great American Beer Fest it's the elite competition.
We're there, you know, when it opens, which is about an hour before the ceremony. As far as beers entered, I think there was almost 7,000 beers entered. There's 101 categories. We were entered in category 96, 97, and 100. We had to wait an additional, 3 hours.
Category 77, Berliner style whites.
Nerve-wracking just sitting there watching the categories roll by. And then watching other people in the industry that you know, that you're fans of, go up there and collect their medals, and you're just kind of sitting there waiting like, I hope I get to go up there, you know what I mean? Freaking out.
Category 96, American style stout. The bronze goes to Black Cliffs.
Yeah! Nice job, buddy.
You know, the bigger towns get a lot of credit, the San Diegos, the Denvers, they get a lot of credit for being beer towns, but Boise's no slouch either. At least for the last 4 years, we've had one or more beers judged to be of world-class quality. We've done it the last 3 years. We've taken home GABF medals, and to earn a medal at the GABF, your beer has to be judged to be world-class. And it's not only you, it's, you know, Sockeye Crosstown or Kelso over at 10 Barrel. They're also bringing home hardware. That's multiple breweries bringing home world-class beers. So we deserve at least to be a blip on the radar, you know, an up-and-coming beer town at least.
I think just the quality of beer. I think majority of these breweries have stepped it up. Maybe not every one of their beers is great. Not every one of my beers is great. But somebody's going to go into that brewery or brew pub and find one or two that they love. And I think that's happening more and more. And the more breweries coming in and stepping up their game and brewing quality beer, it's only going to, you know, grow the beer scene in Boise.
I didn't even know that we had breweries in Boise growing up. Now we have dozens of breweries, it feels like.
When we opened up 10 Barrel here, that, you know, there's, I think, 4 breweries, and yeah, now there's 21, maybe 22 now. Who knows? Maybe somebody opened today. The Northwest, having those ingredients and I guess passion from other brewers, I think Boise is just a huge fit to be the next big beer town, big beer city.
The World Beer Cup is somewhat like the Olympics of beer, because it's only every couple of years and the whole world participates.
Barley Brown's Brew Pub, Baker City, Oregon.
Sitting there waiting, you know, watching all of the medals come down. I mean, personally, I'm sweating my butt off for like 2 hours. Like, it's nerve-wracking for me, and I know it's nerve-wracking for the other guys.
And the Gold Award.
Come on now. Come
Black
on.
Flip.
Laughing and crying and just emotional from that, you know. I couldn't come down. It was such a huge high. I've never felt it before. It was great.
That's my first goal. That's first anything in the World Beer Cup.
Hard to explain, I guess, you know.
We're the best in the world!
To the cliff. World-class beer, ladies and gentlemen.
That payoff was huge, and to have it happen here with the people that it happened with was pretty special. The people that worked longest and hardest got the reward finally.
Beer's not only about accolades and awards, it's also about bringing people together and having a good time. Beer helps build a better community.
It's such a really healthy population too of breweries that this fly is killing me, man.
I remember when I first was here and the flies kicked up, and they're like, oh, it's fly season. I'm like, Boise has a fly season? Holy crap.
What have I done?
What have I moved to? Exactly. They actually give it a season.
It's not going to end up in the beer, I promise.